Welcome to the Transum podcast, a monthly roundup of the new features on the transum.org website, providing mathematical puzzles, games, learning activities, and the ever-popular mathematics lesson starter of the day. Here's your host, John Tranter.
Hello and welcome to podcast number 99. It's for the month of February 2023, the month when you can celebrate Valentine's Day on the 14th. Pancake Day on the 21st, and a palindromic date on the 3rd. So, talking of palindromes, let's start off this month with the puzzle of the month about Mr. Wheeler, who was on a long drive when he noticed that his odometer showed 15,951 miles. And that is a palindromic number. It reads the same forwards as backwards. Now, the next time he saw a palindromic number on his odometer was exactly 2 hours later. So what was his average speed during those 2 hours? Okay, have a think about that. If you can solve it, let me know. But otherwise, the answer will be in next month's podcast. By the way, talking of palindromes and palindromic numbers and the fact that we've got a palindromic date very soon, there's a newly created page called Number Palindromes that has got us some activities linking to this phenomena. And all the things I talk about in this podcast, you can find the links at transum.org/newsletter. So check out those palindromic activities. Oh, and there are also activities for Pancake Day and Valentine's Day, come to speak of it. And the links, of course, are in that newsletter.
You can find Transum Mathematics at www.transum.org.
Occasionally I'm made aware of a gap in the coverage of the resources provided online, and I make it a project to fill that gap. So the latest example of this is algebraic HCF and LCM. Although there are 10 levelled exercises of 12 questions each, though the higher levels do go beyond the expectations for most pupils. Those higher levels are based on exercises found in maths textbooks written over 100 years ago and provide a worthwhile challenge for the higher achievers. Well, I think a worthwhile challenge for the teachers as well. So have a look at that, algebraic HCF and LCM. Remember that links are in the newsletter. The gradient of a line exercise now has a level 2, thanks to subscriber Mandy for the suggestion. This new level features straight lines drawn on axes where the vertical scale is different from the horizontal scale. And I've added a little bit of labelling obscuring too, so it does make an interesting challenge. Abby has suggested some questions about the equations of straight line graphs that are parallel to the axes. So now may I present graphs of vertical and horizontal lines. Nice little exercise, links in the newsletter. A help video has been added to the place value exercise, and when I made the video, I pictured it being helpful to secondary students whose memory of learning place value in primary school was a bit vague or non-existent. So it quickly goes through the basics, but then it focuses on how to answer the questions in the online exercise. Now, I began experimenting with ChatGPT in December, as you may remember from that awful poem in the last newsletter. Now, in early January, I asked ChatGPT for 10 questions to be generated by the computer using artificial intelligence. It's a generative pre-trained transformer, apparently. The software reacted to my input, which was create a set of 10 interesting questions to practice working out compound interest, ordered from easiest to hardest. So I've included those questions as a new level 6 for the compound interest exercise. Now, I've clearly labelled them as being created by artificial intelligence, I don't think that they are particularly interesting, but they do show progression in the sophistication of compound interest calculations. So, makes a change, bit of an interest there. You may want to have a look at that. And talking of AI, if you do go to the newsletter and look at the picture I've put with the puzzle of the month, I actually created the picture using artificial intelligence. I described the features of the puzzle in text, and it came back with a sort of a cartoon image of a man behind the wheel of a car driving on a long drive. Now, I think it's a wonderful service that you can get pictures created in this way. It is a bit controversial of late. We'll see how that pans out. But you can actually recognize sometimes the pictures created by this particular artificial intelligence because for some reason it has trouble with the hands. So I don't know whether you noticed, but the hands do look a little bit strange. Always a giveaway for artificial intelligence at the moment, until they've sorted that out, I guess. I have just added a level 6 to the upper and lower bounds exercise. It focuses on finding the bounds of algebraic expressions after the given substitutions. It'll give the brain and the calculator a serious workout. So have a look at that. The SURDS exercise has been given a serious upgrade. There are now 8 levels altogether, as well as a long help video. Now, I really won't be expecting anyone to watch the video from beginning to end, but the levels have been time-stamped so that when you open the help tab from any particular level, it opens the video at the appropriate place. So, hopefully that will make SURDS almost like sort of a self-contained activity that you could assign for a homework, because if the students do get stuck, there's a video to show them how to answer the questions. The currency exchange exercises now have the latest exchange rates updated daily instead of monthly. Now, I'm not sure if the students will burst with excitement at this news, but I'm somewhat more satisfied. Finally, the answer to last month's puzzle, which was: a teacher writes 6 words on a board: cat, dog, has, max, dim, and tag. She gives 3 students, Arshad, Billy, and Chloe, each a piece of paper with 1 letter from her favourite word in the list. They each have a different letter from the same word. Then she asks, Arshad, do you know the word? Arshad immediately replies, yes. She asks, Billy, do you know the word? He thinks for a moment and replies, yes. Then she asks Chloe the same question. She thinks and then replies, yes. What is the teacher's favourite word? So, the answer is dog. Arshad knows right away because he has one of the unique letters that only appear once in all of the words. So we know the word is not tag. All of these unique letters appear in different words except for H and S. They're both in has. And Billy can figure out what the word is from the unique letters that are left, T, G, H and S. This eliminates max and dim. Chloe can then narrow it down the same way because there is only one unique letter left, the letter D. The word must be dog. So, I'm not sure whether I explained that very well, but if you go to the newsletter, I've put a link to a Mind Your Decisions video. Very, very good series of videos, and in which this puzzle is explained. So the puzzle was adapted from Yes, 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 that's what it was called, in The Great Book of Mind Teasers and Mind Puzzlers by George J. Summers, which has the same situation with 5 words. So, that's all for now. See you next month. Bye.
Thank you for downloading and listening to the Transum podcast. You can find the website at www.transom.org, where you're welcome to use all of the activities absolutely free, or jump in with both feet and become a Transom subscriber.